Honey, I'm home.
Eh, so what? Sheila asked me I got a brand new car for Christmas, and my bumper's still falling off.
Oh, you thought I forget you.
Honey, you give me shares on ArawakX?
Now you can join thousands of investors this Christmas and invest on ArawakX.com. For more information, email invest@arawakx.com or call 810-0333 between 9 a.m. to 5 a.m.
Hi, can everybody hear me? Yes, just somebody give me a thumbs up even in the message. Beaumont, can you hear me? Yes, okay, great. Welcome all today. It's at the top of the hour. I'm gonna try give people about a 5-minute grace period to log on. I would like to first of all, while we have this space, to thank you all for participating and taking the time out of your busy Saturdays. I know as we come into the Christmas season, everybody has multitudes of things to do in preparation for Christmas. So I'd really like to thank you for taking the time out and joining us today. I am going to start. I'm going to kick us off at 11:05. It's now 11:02. Before I begin, I'd just like to remind everybody that there is still time. We've gotten an extension on the Red Lobster and Bahamas MiFi closing date to January the 4th. So there is still time to invest in those companies. So in case you have an interest in those companies, please, there is still time to invest in those companies. Great. So if anybody, I'm willing, before we start, I'm willing, in case anybody has any questions, they can put it in the live chat even before we begin. And I will either answer them prior to beginning, or I'll make sure at the end that I answer your questions. And please, please do not be afraid to ask any question, because that's what I'm here for. I'm not going to say that the only dumb question is not asked question. There's no such thing as a dumb question. People are afraid to ask. Please, this is quite informal. This is I'm very appreciative of you guys taking the time Saturdays to come and join us. So I'm here. I'm here to answer any questions you may have. every week I run the seminar, and I have a lot of people that sign up for it. And on average, I've been getting sort of like 6 people a week. I'm going to root today that I'm going to break that average. I want to break that. I need to get at least 10 people in here today. We'll see how that goes. Okay, it's 11:05. I'm going to start it. My name is Ken Donathan. As I said, I am coming to you. We're doing live broadcast or live webcam from our customer community investment center here in Sandyport. What this video is about is basically giving you an orientation of what ArawakX is, what's our mission, and what's our statement. So without further ado, I'm going to start the session off with a little video from the chairman, Mr. GRC Raming Sr., followed by our CTO, Chief Technology Officer, GRC Raming Jr., who will give you a very high-level view of what it is, what ArawakX is, and what we are attempting to do.
Hello, my name is DRC Raming. I'm the chairman and CEO of the ArawakX Stock Exchange. And it is with extreme pleasure and excitement that I welcome you to ArawakX's Community Investor Educational Center. I'm happy that you have chosen to participate in this once-in-a-lifetime experience, becoming an investor on ArawakX Stock Exchange. Here at ArawakX, we believe in helping each person not only be a consumer in their community, but to also become an owner. Think of each Community Investor Educational Center as a home away from home, where you can come to learn, invest, and find assistance on your investor's journey. Now let's get started. Welcome.
Welcome to ArawakX. My name is DRC Raming Jr., and I am the Chief Technology Officer here at the firm. What ArawakX is we are a stock exchange over the internet. We are regulated by the Securities Commission of the Bahamas, and we work tirelessly with them to bring this to you. ArawakX.com is the place that you go to invest in innovative, fast-growing companies right from your cell phone. And we use technology to allow you to do it for as little as $25. Investing is for everyone. Some people think that when you talk about investing is only for people with $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. And what I'm here to tell you today is that with ArawakX, you'll be able to invest for as little as $25. So for us at ArawakX, this is about financial inclusion. And what that means, whether you have $25 or $25 million, you'll be able to participate in our offerings. We believe in giving you the financial tools to live the life that you want. Thank you.
Now let's make some magic.
Okay. Couple of things to take from those videos. First of all, ArawakX is a full licensed stock exchange, basically specializing in crowdfunding. I'll explain crowdfunding at a later time. We have a video on that to give you a better feel of what crowdfunding is about. As I said, we have a full clearing facility and registered transfer agent license. Let me just pause here and tell you that ArawakX is an international stock exchange because we will have international participants coming across our exchange, both as founders and investors. We are situated in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and as such, we are governed by the laws of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission of the Bahamas, but we are an international stock exchange. We were initially, our first launch of companies was on August 23rd with 2 companies. We are now at 3. And in week 1, we gleaned over 1% of the population signing up on our platform to do business as investors. That is about 3,000 right up and now. That has doubled. We are at about 6,600 people. The company has a team of seasoned financial persons and a well-rounded technology team. I'll show you who our team is in about 2 slides down. And ArawakX, one of our mission statements is developing the ArawakX ecosystem. I want to just pause and tell you what an ecosystem is. An ecosystem is one where we are an exchange, but we see ourselves not only as an exchange participating in the sale of equity securities, but also enabling other professionals in our community to benefit by the spill-off business that will be generated because of the exchange. For instance, all international companies that's going to be listed on the exchange will have to form themselves as a Bahamian company. So right there, they're going to be paying taxes to the government. They're going to probably have to get local legal representation. They're going to have to establish a physical office here. So that means they're paying rent, and they're going to probably have to hire local staff. That is what we mean by an ecosystem, where you're generating a system that's beneficial to the whole economy. Here is a copy of our license. As you can see, it was actually given to us on the 18th day of January of this year, 2021. And it's a marketplace, which is another name for the stock exchange, and a clearing facility. The clearing facility part of it means that after the trade is made, we also have the ability to settle the trade. I spoke to you about a team of professionals. Here is our team. Our team is led by Mr. D.R.C. Raming Sr., who is our chief executive. He is supported by Mr. Hilary DeVoe, who is a board member and a former member of the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. Actually, it's a former head of the Securities Commission of the Bahamas. D.R.C. Raming Jr., who you saw earlier in the video, who is our Chief Technology Officer. Another board member includes Mr. Felix Stubbs, who actually worked for IBM and is a well-known businessman throughout the community. Mr. Winston Roll, who was our Chief of Equities. Winston was also the head of the Chamber of Commerce at one time. Dick Krazarian, who was a Chief Economic Advisor. Mr. Krazarian is a well-known economist who's published many articles and was very instrumental in the design of mortgage-backed securities. Kevin Solomon, who is our AML advisor, who is also one of the chief advisors for FATFA in the States. Doug Kreisen, who is our chief operating officer. Doug specializes in technology, and he heads up our office also in Silicon Valley. Patrick Young, one of the leading exchange experts throughout the world. He is an advisor to us. Mr. Victor Webb, who is the former head of the Wall Street Journal. Therese Curry, who has a lot of experience in offshore banking and currently heads of the Red Cross. She is another board member. Mr. Robertson Judene, Chief of Caribbean Development. Mr. Judene is an experienced business person, having done business throughout the Caribbean. Michael Turnquist, who is our Chief Financial Officer, and he is supported by Mr. Leroy Archer, who is an advisor and also Chief of Corporate Development. Nadia Butler, who is the head of compliance. Myself, Ms. Butler is supported by Mr. Kentico Forbes, who is a compliance analyst. Mr. Beaumont Todd is the Director of Marketing. Shamanique Smith, who is the Office Manager. Bria DeVoe, who is our Equities Coordinator. Keanu Penniman, who is Technology Planner. Timothy Bain, Digital and Social Media. Raquel Curry, Human Resource and Training Manager. Will McKechnie, Investor Relationship Manager, particularly as it relates to high-end investors. Rashaldra Russell, Community Investment Manager. Helson Ambrose, Project Manager. Venerian Hanna, Director of Special Events. And also Reginald Sands, who is a technology architect, and Mr. Alex Smith, who is our intern in the CIE, Community Investment Center. Now, remember a little while ago, I told you we specialize in crowdfunding. Well, I'm going to take this moment to show a video that will give you a little bit more understanding of what crowdfunding is.
All businesses need money to start, grow, and to change the world. By the time Coca-Cola bought out Innocent Smoothies in February 2013, the UK business was worth £320 million. When Twitter filed its IPO, it was valued at over $13 billion. And just lately, Facebook bought WhatsApp for a whopping $19 billion. But none of these guys started out big. Back when these companies were relative unknowns, the banks wouldn't give them money, so they turned to private investors, and those private investors wound up making a tidy profit. But who were they? We've all heard of the brands, but who were the investors that helped get their businesses off the ground in the first place? They're often referred to as business angels. They're like the dragons from the BBC's Dragon's Den, except there's a lot more of them. They invest an estimated £850 million in startups every year in the UK, and over $24 billion in the US. On average, they see a 22% annual return, and while it used to be that only the angels could get a slice of those tasty returns, now there's crowdfunding. Thanks to the internet, companies have found a new way to source the money they need, from hundreds or even thousands of people, the crowd. In return for their cash, the crowd might receive rewards, such as tickets to an event, a free t-shirt, or their name on a plaque. But an even newer model allows the crowd to own a small share of the company in return for their money, just like the angels. It's called equity crowdfunding, and there are a number of platforms out there that offer deals for the crowd to invest in and facilitate the investment. If the company they invest in makes it big, the crowd shares in the returns. If it fails, they lose what they've invested. But by investing in multiple startups like many angels do, the crowd can spread this risk and build a diversified portfolio of investments. If, amongst that portfolio, there are a few choice investments that do really well, they may more than cover their losses, and the crowd will end up in profit. It's not just about the money, though. Investing in startups and watching a company grow can be exciting, challenging, and extremely rewarding.
Okay, as you can see, crowdfunding is basically a concept where companies, particularly startup companies, raise equity capital by offering shares of their company, and the way they do it, they offer it through the internet. In other words, they don't use brokers and dealers anymore. They offer it directly to potential investors over the internet. Now, what is ArawakX and why ArawakX? Well, ArawakX, as I said earlier, is an international stock exchange. International in the sense that we will be doing business with basically both international founders or people looking for money, as well as international investors who are looking to invest in companies. ArawakX, as I said, is a stock exchange that brings people looking for equity funding together with people who are looking to invest. Right now, we have over 160 startups in the pipeline that we are actually processing that want to list on our exchange. ArawakX, what is the problem that ArawakX is solving? The Small Business Association in the States have estimated that there are over 63,000 startups a year in the US and the Caribbean that is looking for equity crowdfunding. Only 6% of these receive funding from angel investors and venture capital groups. The reason being, most of these companies, particularly the venture capitalists, they're looking to take substantive positions in the company as much as 60%. Here it is, we're looking for companies that are basically looking to sell about 30%. And another reason is a lot of these the size companies we are specializing in right now are those companies who are looking to raise 250,000 to 5 million, which is a very small company for venture capital. And as in most cases, the ones that get funded, it goes back to that old adage, is who you know. A lot of these people know the people who are giving them funding, and these fundings are probably by a select few people, not the crowd as we are going out. ArawakX's mission is to identify, select, and fund the best international startups from the United States and the Caribbean, to capitalize on regulations which allow for a regulated virtual private equity deal room. That is our regulations here locally, which sets us apart from maybe what they can do in the States. Our legal environment and the government has put into place certain regulations that makes it very easy for persons to come and list here in the Bahamas. And to take advantage of business environment by nearshoring them, establishing a presence in the Bahamas. This goes back to the start of the creating the ArawakX ecosystem. Moving the Bahamas from an offshore center to nearshore. Why startups are willing to nearshore in the Bahamas? The Bahamas is attractive, first of all, because of its proximity to the States. We are very near to them. ArawakX itself can raise millions of dollars in equity. Our country has an uninterrupted history of peaceful democratic politics. Government has invoked things such as a foreign direct investment up to 10 million for ease of doing business. Another one is the Commercial Enterprises Act. The Grand Bahama Tech Hub Initiative, particularly geared at technology companies. Grand Bahama is trying to become the technical hub of the Bahamas. The BH-1B visa, the economic free zones, where depending upon where you locate in the jurisdiction, you get tax incentives. The Bahamas Extended Access Travel Stay Program. Individuals can be sent here for an extended stay by their company, and they can work from the Bahamas. This particularly came into force when COVID was rampant, and the Bahamas then and still does have a reputation of being a fairly safe environment in terms of COVID. Now, this is what one of our mandates is, to select the best companies. This is a strategy that ArawakX uses. I'm going to tell you about two acronyms. It's going to be the team that delivers magic. TEAM stands for the Executive Advisors and Management Team. In other words, the companies we're looking for have to have a team in place, have to. We're not looking for persons who are sole proprietorships and so forth like that, because there is no one person that has all the answers. They must show us where they have a team of executive advisors and management that has some type of business acumen and experience in what they're attempting to do. So that team has to then deliver magic. Magic is the acronym that shows, A, you have a market that's big enough to justify investment. Whatever you're deciding to do or want to say you're going to do, you have to show us where there is a big enough market for it. You must have access to that market. There's no use telling me you can produce shoes to sell in China and you don't have a license to do business in China. You must demonstrate that this market is large enough that would allow you to grow at least 10 times what you're doing today. What you're doing must be innovative, or what you're proposing must be innovative to the extent that it gives you some type of competitive advantage. And you must have corporate governance in place, meaning that there must be memos, articles of association in terms of how this company is going to be governed. Now, I'm going to take a little break. We're going to have a little fun here. We talk all about stock exchanges, and I'm sure you guys have seen the Eddie Murphy movie or Trading Places, or where he and this guy are on the stock floor and everybody knows about the stock exchange. But does anybody know why they ring the bell at the stock exchange? Yeah.
These days, seeing stock market swings of several hundred points isn't unusual.
But it can be strange to see people standing up, clapping and cheering after the market takes a big dive. So that had Terrence from St. Paul, Bob from Northfield, and Dale from Red Wing all wanting to know, why are they so happy? Good question. Here's Heather Brown.
At exactly 8:30 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, a group of people ring
There's actually a button you push.
the New York Stock Exchange bell.
Any idea who those people are up there clapping and cheering?
Nope, not really. Celebrities, CFOs.
Or if it's Snoop Dogg or Jessica Simpson.
Right, yeah.
This day, the market closed up 257 points, and this day it was down 365.
Those people are rather excited.
Yeah, they are.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it eases the pain. I don't have a reason to cheer, but they apparently do.
For us, it was a celebration of 100 years of business.
Ed Merritt is the Vice President of Investor Relations at Deluxe, or DLX, on the stock exchange, a small business service company based in Shoreview. They rang the opening bell 100 years to the day after their founder opened his first office.
Companies that are going public or celebrating a certain event usually get the opening bell.
Who were all those people standing up there?
Okay, we had an executive from the
These days, seeing stock market swings of several hundred points isn't unusual.
But it can be strange to see people standing up, clapping and cheering after the market takes a big dive. So that had Terrence from St. Paul, Bob from Northfield, and Dale from Red Wing all wanting to know, why are they so happy? Good question. Here's Heather Brown.
At exactly 8:30 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon, a group of people ring
There's actually a button you push.
the New York Stock Exchange bell.
Any idea who those people are up there clapping and cheering?
Nope, not really. Celebrities, CFOs.
Or if it's Snoop Dogg or Jessica Simpson.
Right, yeah.
This day, the market closed up 257 points, and this day it was down 365.
Those people are rather excited.
Yeah, they are.
So
Yeah.
sometimes it eases the pain. I don't have a reason to cheer, but they apparently do.
For us, it was a celebration of 100 years of business.
Ed Merritt is the Vice President of Investor Relations at Deluxe, or DLX, on the stock exchange, a small business service company based in Shoreview. They rang the opening bell 100 years to the day after their founder opened his first office.
Companies that are going public or celebrating a certain event usually get the opening bell.
Who were all those people standing up there?
Okay, we had an executive from the stock exchange.
Their CEO, CFO, a few other execs, and some longtime employees.
One of the gentlemen, his father was a retiree of Deluxe many years ago. And so for him, he actually brought his father to the stock exchange as well, so he was up there with us.
Deluxe reserved their day a year in advance. Most bell ringers are booked 6 months out.
If the market really doesn't do well, how do you handle being the people
Right.
up there, being the face of the market
It's tough.
that day.
Believe me, it's on your mind beforehand.
I'd rather see some smiles, than what we've seen there for 2007.
If you had to choose, you'd rather be there on a day when the market's going to go up 400 points.
For Deluxe, this was more about celebrating the company than what's going on in the stock market.
It really is.
Around the world, 100 million people watch the opening and closing bells each day. In addition to the publicly traded companies and nonprofits, President Reagan, Usher, and Miss Piggy have all had their turns.
Okay, so you see the significance of ringing the bell and how it's actually an honor to ring the bell at the stock exchange. And in keeping with traditions of a stock exchange, we're going to show you how we do it here at ArawakX.
At the New York Stock Exchange, when they start the trading day, they ring the bell. But here at ArawakX, we ring the cowbell. At ArawakX Community Investor Center, we provide a free course and experience about financial literacy. Topics that we cover includes basic and financial literacy, risk and equity investments, and how to invest using ArawakX.com. Join us. It's your turn to ring the bell.
Okay, had a bit of fun there. Now let's go back to business. How do you invest in ArawakX? First of all, you log on to ArawakX.com, and there are 2 stages to setting up and being able to invest in ArawakX. First of all, there's a registration phase, and this basically involves making sure that you are KYC compliant. This is mandated to us by the Securities Commission. And in this phase, you basically come in and register on our platform. You submit your documents, and within 24 to 48 hours, you're approved, and then you can go in and create your account. Once the account is created, you are then ready to go ahead and start investing. So this is how we're going to go through how to register and how to invest. First slide, how to register. When you log on to ArawakX, you make this selection, sign in or sign up. Here, you'll be asked to create an account. And in so doing it, you'll ask for your email address, your password, and you'll be prompted to please have a digital copy of either your passport, driver's license, national ID card, permanent residence card, or birth certificate or voter's card available along with your NIB card. You will be asked to upload copies of this to our website at the time you submit your application. All right, so here's the application. You fill it out, very, very rudimentary information included in here. And once you click on the consent button, it now prompts you to please upload your KYC documents. And when you're done with that, you will then click on the finish button and it will be sent off. Sign-in information and instructions after approval process will be mailed to you once you complete your application. Now, so here it is, 24 hours, fill out the application, upload your KYC documents. A response will be sent back to you in 24 to 48 hours. Hey, you've been approved, and or they may require other information such as please submit your documents again, they weren't clear, or so forth like that. So please, when you're uploading, particularly your KYC documents, please make sure they're clear, names can be read, numbers can be read. Now, once you've been approved, here you're ready to invest. You go back into the website here. Now you are able to log in with your email and also the password you created. Once you've logged in, you will then gain access to the companies that we have available for investment. Now, once you hit these companies, that's available for information. If you're interested in one, this is the type of information you'll see. This is the summary page, which basically tells you how much has been raised so far, how much they're looking to raise, the number of investors that they have so far, what is the share price per share price, as well as what is the minimum investment, what are the number of shares being offered, whether it's a situation where either they raise all the money they're wanting to or a portion thereof. It tells you what is the end date or the closing date of the offering. And it also tells you something else. If it's not an all or nothing, what is your minimum raise that they will accept in order to go forward with the deal? So every company has a minimum threshold to say, I need to raise at minimum this amount. If I don't raise this amount, it does not make sense going forward with this deal. Now, if they do not hit that minimum threshold, all funds collected from investors at that time will be returned to the investors. I repeat, all funds collected at that time, if they do not meet the minimum raise by the closing date, all those funds will be returned to the investor. There will be no fees deducted, nothing. Every red cent will be returned. Some of the other information that you will see from these that's associated with the companies will be such things as they will give you reasons that they feel you should invest in their company. They will also tell you what is the challenge that the company is trying to face off with, and then they will give you what is their solution to this challenge. They will also tell you what their competitive advantage is and what their competition looks like. What is their market size? And also, they will give you financial highlights. And what is the vision and why to invest now? Now, this is just some of the things that you should be reading through. This is all the supporting documents to that summary page that gives you information about what the company is trying to accomplish and also why you should, or what their compelling reasons why they think their company would be a good investment. It is all giving you information so that you're able to make an intelligent, well-informed investment decision. Now, once you've decided on a stock you're going to invest in, you select the number of shares that you want to invest in. It automatically will be computed the dollar amount that you have to submit. And also this form, you will have to tick these two boxes that basically tells you or confirms that you're aware that there is risk inherent in every investment, as well as that you're not investing greater than $10,000. If you invest greater than $10,000, then you find another category and some other forms will be sent to you. Once you made your selection, you then hit continue, and then you will be told that congratulations, your request for the number of shares has been submitted, and then you'll be requested to make payment. Here is a video in terms of how to make payment. Well, a slide. Payment can be made either by bank-to-bank transfer or online. If it's an international transfer, it will have to be by wire transfer, or for those of us who have wallets, SunCash, we also have we've combined with SunCash, so you can make payments through your SunCash wallet too. Just want to here is my local payment instructions. This is the bank-to-bank over the internet. And also here's the wire transfer for international persons. Now, payments are only accepted once your application has been completed and approved and your investor profile and account created. There are a large number of people that they got our banking transfer and they just send us money with no application or anything being sorted out. I can just tell you the nightmare that created. So we blocked it that you cannot make payments unless you created an account. Now, in order to make payment, depending on your banking institution, you would make the appropriate choice, such as whether it's an internal transfer or whether it's a bank-to-bank transfer, such as send a local bank, or whether it's an international transfer. We have here several examples, depending upon which bank you bank with, how you would go about making that transfer. We have it for Bank of the Bahamas, RBC, FCIB. I am not going to go through those slides. If you want to, you can make a request and we will send you a copy of all those bank payment instructions for the appropriate bank that you bank with. When you made payment, there will be 2 forms that will then be sent to you, and these have to be completed in order for the deal or your transaction to be completed. It's a risk awareness form and it's an investor limits form. The risk awareness form again reiterates that you are aware of the inherent risk in investments, and the investor limits form delineates how much you're investing at this time. Now with that, we're going to conclude today with a little virtual tour of the center that I'm in. And then after that, we'll have a question and answer period.
Beginning here with the Community Investor Education Center. The Community Investor Education Center is located in Sandy Port at number 3 Buckner Square. It is next to News Cafe Restaurant and opposite Spritz Restaurant. Upon entering, you will be greeted by our friendly staff. We ensure COVID protocols are adhered to, including wearing a mask and hand sanitizing. We also ensure sanitizing between every session or client that enters and leaves. Along with our investor education sessions, we also provide assistance to any client who may need help with the signing up process. This is from creating a profile on ArawakX.com to ensuring you are able to make payments online or via wire transfer. We do not take payments here at ArawakX. We are happy to help with any questions or queries you may have. Our next stop is our front office in Suite 107 located off Church Street in Sandy Port. Here, our front office manager ensures that all of our offices are well organized and supplied to provide the most efficient service for our clients while assisting any client that enters our doors. Upstairs from 107 in the same building is Suite 207, which houses our equity team. Our equity team works hard to assist every startup that has a dream of expanding their business, 10 times to however big you can dream. It is this team that ensures every company is properly vetted and has a team with magic. Our last stop is in Suite 206, right next door to Equity. Here is where our marketing team and IT departments are housed. As usual, you can see our marketing team is working hard, looking for creative ways to promote the exchange and keep the public educated, entertained, and informed.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video. I'm going to stop the share and we're going to go into our question and answer period. I saw there was a question. Good morning, everyone. Which way is easier to make transactions? I'm going to attempt to answer it. I think I understand this. I think what the person is asking, which way is the easiest way to make payment, I guess. I would imagine whatever is easier for you. There is no easier way. It's whatever is easiest for you. I don't know if that answers your question. And if you want to detail, it a little bit more, I'll explore it further. You can all unmute yourself now if you want to ask a question, and or you can type your question in the chat.
Good morning again. It was me who asked the question. Well, you answered the question per se, but I was referring to, like you saying you'll use SunCash?
Yeah, that's just a form of payment. We accept SunCash payments. You can initiate it with SunCash to make the payment over SunCash. If you want to, we can send you the mechanism to do that now.
Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions? I mean, we covered a lot of information today. We talked about what ArawakX is, what crowdfunding is, how do you invest. Right now, there are 3 companies, as I said at the beginning, that we have listed. That being Red Lobster, Bahamas MiFi, as well as Grow. You can go onto our platform and you can see information about those. Information about those. In that information, it will give you information about each of the companies, what they have put up on our website. We do not create that information for them. It's what they call their pitch. In that pitch, they'll tell you all about who are the leaders, who are the main team, what it is they're trying to accomplish, and in their financial, they'll answer questions such as what their projected earnings is, and if they have one, they'll have a dividend statement as to how often dividends will be paid. How often are the education sessions? I have education sessions every Saturday. This is a webcam. We also have in-person education seminars that we run live at our investment center here, an education center here, which gives you a better feel of, you come in and we actually allow you to actually sit on the floor, the trading floor, and we run an education seminar. You get to get a tour of our campus here out at Sandy Port and get a better feel and meet some of the people you saw there on who's our team. When are you ArawakX going to have our T-shirts made up for investors? I support this business and want to see it succeed. I guess, truthfully, I don't know, but I will ask our marketing department if there is a good enough demand for the T-shirt. I'm sure they will come up with something. Just wanted to clarify, if you want to start the investing process, is it done online? Yes, everything is done online. You go to ArawakX and you go into sign in or register. You go through the registration process first. You submit your KYC documents along with your application form. It comes into our compliance department. They review it, come back to you and tell you, okay, you've created an account. Here's a temporary password. Go back in, put in your password, change your password, and then you're ready to invest. How do I go about getting how do I go about getting funding for my business through ArawakX? Basically, you will get in touch with our equities department, and they will then give you some preliminary information on that, and then that begins the process. Great, good questions, guys. Very good questions. Keep them coming. That's what I'm here for, and I'm hope I'm answering them the way you want me to. A lot of it is open interpretation, but I'm here. I want to answer your question. I want you to become very familiar with ArawakX.
Hi, I had a question, another question.
Yes?
I heard you said that stocks can start as low as $25. That
Yes?
is, that's depending on what exactly? Maybe you just give a little more insight on that for me, please.
Well, yeah, you can start as, actually, Farmers Market, you start at $16. So basically that's the price for one share. However, we do try to, there is a minimum investment, say you may have to buy the equivalent of $100 the first time out, but the shares themselves are as low as $16. It's going to be.
Okay, thank you. And also, I think I read it on the Facebook page when I was reading up on it that you guys do not only local but international as well.
Yes, we haven't listed our first. When you say international, I mean we accept international investors?
Yes.
Yes, we do. We do, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. One other question. Assuming the crowd-funded businesses are successful, what amount based on the purchased shares conceivably should investors expect as dividend payouts? Can you give an estimated figure based on past experience? Again, for the answer to this question, I will have to direct you to each individual's information that they put up on our website. Every company determines its own dividend payout ratios, as well as when they will pay dividend. That is not in my purview. I am just the exchange on which they list. I don't guarantee the performance of any company. I don't guarantee any returns, any dividends. That all is dependent upon the company you decide to invest in. I provide, or I make them provide, as much information about their company as possible so that people can make a well-informed decision. By the way, great questions, Guy. Great question. Great, okay. Again, I invite all of you guys who haven't registered.
Jonathan, I have another question coming from Facebook for you.
Okay, go ahead, Todd.
I just put it in the chat.
Let me see. All right, I invested in X amount of shares and signed the following document. I made a bank transfer after this process. I sent an email with the reference number and receipt. I have not received a confirmation of payment from ArawakX. Also, my account is showing investment. Who do I contact to resolve this problem? I see your name in the chat, and you can contact me Sir, at 424-8688. Or you can send us an email or send me an email at ken.donathan@arawakx.com. I made a note of it and I'm going to look into it right away, sir. Great. Well, we're getting to the top of the hour, and I'd just like to take a moment to thank everybody for participating. I honestly appreciate your questions and your interest. Again, I encourage you that if you haven't already registered on the ArawakX platform, to please go and do so. Registration doesn't cost you anything. There is no commitment that you will invest. It just makes you prepared for the day, or in case you want to invest, that I have done all the processing or the KYC processing. That is and it's one time, but that all of you, from a regulatory point of view, you've been processed. So with that, if there's no other questions, I will bid you all to have a wonderful Saturday and the remainder of the weekend. Thank you once again for taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us today. Enjoy your weekend.